Hi, I'm Ulla Cordtz, and today I'm going to talk to you about an experimental heritage experience which was part of a collaborative project carried out by two local heritage institutions west of Copenhagen. A project which became the focus of my master thesis, which was completed in 2020. Because of the potential as a sustainable business approach and heritage experience. The project is innovative and thus can provide new ideas for the fields of heritage management, museology, experimental archaeology, and other areas related to museum experiences. I especially wanted to look into the experimental archaeology aspect of it, which were incorporated into the heritage experience and local outreach program and educational activities. As a museum employee, as well as a student of both sustainable heritage management and experimental archaeology, it was of interest to explore the possibilities and weaknesses of such a current project, along with the issues of sustainability that the heritage industry faces in the 21st century. See museums as part of and conducive to the 21st century. I used following citations and argumentations to establish the foundation of a case study. It is therefore important to study new initiatives so that the knowledge gained can be shared, and generating the possibility for researchers to learn from each other. So, in relation to sustainable heritage management, it is relevant to study an interdisciplinary heritage project, such as the case study brought forth here. Often, when mentioning sustainability, the focus will be on environmental issues, which is also very important. However, it is also important to focus on the sustainability of a business approach in terms of heritage industries. Kroppedal Museum and Albertslund Viking Village has several stakeholders, both before the collaborative project and during it. A sustainable business approach has to be aware of all the stakeholders and what their agenda is and what they can contribute with, from local players to national players. Here is the organization diagram for the Viking bridge projects displayed in the project descriptions. Them embarking on a project of reconstructing parts of a Viking bridge is not just for educational purpose. It is considered a sustainable business approach, an attempt to stay relevant to the local community, as well as ensuring paying visitors and gaining financial support from stakeholders. Environmental issues was also considered in terms of material, tools, and transportation used, along with the area's vegetation in general. The original Viking bridge was located in Jutland, in an area called Ravninge Enge, which has given the name to the bridge. It is the findings from this archaeological excavation that the project is based on. Due to interest in reconstructing the bridge and conducting experimental archaeology to gain more knowledge, a couple of joints were erected in 1985 in each end of the original area at Ravninge Enge, but also to create a visual marker for tourists to visit the site. No other attempts to reconstruct large part of the Viking bridge has been done until now. However, it has been part of academic debate, and in 2017 Arne Rosenqvist published his calculations and results from a scaled-down reconstruction. The focus of the project has expanded greatly, mainly to generate more interest from larger financial partners such as the Nordea Foundation, as well as to generate regional and even national attention, to strengthen community identity and raise awareness of local heritage. The project is located in an outer area of Greater Copenhagen, known as the Western District. The area is rich in prehistorical archaeological finds, cultural heritage, and opportunities to engage with nature. So an overall purpose is therefore to increase the public knowledge of the area's heritage and nature through several activities centered on the reconstruction of the Viking Bridge. The project anticipated great interest from schools and calculated some funding considering both paying and non-paying school groups. However, it was soon realized that while schools were interested, the financial restrictions limited their options for participation. The project was thus altered so that the school could book activities without cost, which meant halfway through the 3-year period, the school service is functioning and most of the bridge building sessions are booked in spring and autumn. Compared with the many museum school services available on the Danish market, this project offers school children the opportunity to be part of a construction of something very visible and very permanent, which is good because the children do realize that this is something valuable and long-lasting. Both teachers and students were very enthusiastic about the project, though it was only or mostly the students who participated in the activities, while the teachers observed. Some of the teachers even said it is important to get the children out and participate in these activities as long as it is possible, since the children benefits greatly from it. There is no manual as such for the dissemination of the project, but the interpreters know the background history and the project's activities. So within the frame, they give it their own personal take. Since it is school children that are helping to create the Viking Bridge, it is a very personal experience and the participants become part of the area's heritage. During my observation period, it was noticeable that an effort was made to make each child feel noticed and included. The child received attention and took a turn in the spotlight during the bridge building. This made the dissemination very personal and created a foundation for good experiences. When leaving with positive experiences, the school children became great ambassadors for the Viking Bridge and the area. During the building stage, the project did generate local interest. One visitor even commented that it was like watching Discovery Channel live. For many of the school children, the experience was exceptional, since they get to fell a tree and transport it to the site and reflect on what it is used for. The present initiative can be seen as a development of this dissemination tool, combined with the aspect of opening up an experimental archaeological project for the participator, instead of just using the finished setting for live history dissemination as usual. Despite some episodes of inattention due to general excitement and unforeseen activity in nature, the interpreters were good at using these episodes to motivate and get the activity back on track. Every session is concluded by thanking the children for participating, since the project could not be completed without them. An invitation to visit again with their family is extended, along with the statement that they can come back in the future with their children or even grandchildren and show them the poles that they helped put in the ground. It is also a good thing that the school activity part of the project had so much popularity, since previous reconstruction projects in the area relied mainly on volunteers. They could take up to 7 years to complete. During the project, also a new exhibition at Koppedal Museum was completed. This project was called Every Day a Battle and had poles from the original Viking Bridge displayed, along with a narrative of local history. Also, an app for the area was created and had several new informations about local heritage and the Viking building project.
Det var da bedre. Hvor man er klar.
Er du klar?
Jeg er klar. Tæller ned og slipper.
3, 2, 1.
The school groups participating in the observation period were also asked to complete a questionnaire 6 months after working on the bridge. The children were asked, among other things, what could have made the experience better. Several answers hinted at more time and being able to follow the project over a longer period, to see the bridge grow or even be completed. Reflecting on the project as a sustainable business approach for heritage institutions. The project was officially carried out between 2017 to 2019, though the collaboration efforts between Kroppedal Museum and Albertslund Viking Village started already in 2014, with a lot of planning and fundraising. It is therefore fair to say that such a large-scale project took as long to plan as it took to carry out. To be continuous, a new project needs to be thought of, and the planning process started already when the current project is in progress. Otherwise, you will end up with a gap year without the same draw as the year when the project was in its active state. This will raise awareness among new generations in regards to archaeological work and heritage preservation, generating an impact on the community and can lead to increased interest for visitors and investors, providing a sustainable business approach for more heritage institutions. A motivating educational experience can provide a better understanding of heritage and archaeology, and can unite and encourage empathy and consideration of other cultures. So a meaningful interaction with our collective past should begin at a young age and be encouraged throughout one's life. It is important to make archaeology accessible, which can occur through museum education using positive learning experiences.